Hey everybody, Jason here, and I'm back with a quick video for you guys today on my Kyosho MP9 TKI4. That's Team Kyosho International, in case you're wondering what TKI stands for. This car is really, it's being marketed as a complete new generation, or at least the newest iteration of the famous and one of the winningest platforms ever, the MP9. But I will tell you that when I look at this car, I see something a little bit different. I see kind of an adaptation to higher grip racing surfaces that we're starting to see become more and more common throughout the world, especially in places like Europe. Not so much here in the United States, but it does happen. It's the Silver State race this year, or the warm-up this year, they sugared up the track, or they put a compound on the track and it was really super high grip. But anyways, I digress. Kyosho's actually made a whole bunch of little changes to the car, but rather than bore you guys to death with each little one, I thought I would just point out some of the things I like and some of the things that are really influential in the way the car handles, and I'll tell you, my opinion about those. And so I guess, first things first, let's talk about durability. And when you talk about durability, I'm thinking A-arms, because my MP9 TKI3s were some of my favorite driving cars, but I broke them a little bit more frequently than I would have liked. In this new generation of car, they made the front arms 2 millimeters longer. Now, before we go any farther, you can still run these arms on a TKI3. You just change the pill orientation so that everything still lines up and has the proper geometry. But they have new front arms that have a bunch of webbing inside to make them more durable, and they're 2 millimeters longer. And then they updated the rear arm by increasing the webbing so it's more durable as well. So that is by far probably the biggest thing for me. But there are other things that are going on here. They've changed the front end geometry in the suspension mounts here, the front and then the front rear. They've actually changed this front rear mount on this car to raise the hinge pin a couple of degrees. That way it flattens out the kick-up to make the car a little bit more aggressive. Now this is a double-edged sword. It could be good, it could be bad. It really just depends on your driving style and your track condition. If you run on a really loose and loamy track, you may want to consider adding some more kick-up. It'll really tame the car down. But if you're on a higher grip track and you want to go full touring car style, then the flatter kick-up is definitely the way to go. It seems like all these companies, I don't know if they're catering to the professionals, but all of the companies seems to make their cars a little bit more aggressive. Now, there are cars that come out of the box naturally very aggressive, cars like the Losi car, the Hot Bodies car, and so on. Kyosho has always really been known for having a really tame car right out of the box, kind of like the old Mugen cars. But just like Mugen has stepped it up and made the 7R a little bit more aggressive out of the box, Kyosho has done the same thing with the TKI4. And there's no question that while the car drives good, on a loose, loamy track, it can be a handful with the box setup. Of course, there's a billion things you can do to tame the car, whether it's diff oils and shock packages. Of course, like I just said, you could add some kick-up to make the car a little bit more tame. But out of the box, there's no question, it's a little bit more aggressive. There are other changes that have gone on with wing mounts and things like that. The new rear hubs are a little bit fancy. One notable difference is that the drive shafts are all the same length, and that's pretty nice. That way you don't have to carry two different pairs of spare parts. So overall, I think the car is pretty dialed. I think Kyosho still makes a high quality product. I really can't tell you guys about wear and stuff like that for the drivetrain because I just haven't ran it enough. I've probably only truly got like maybe a good solid hour, a little bit more of runtime on the car. I can tell you that we were at Dialed In Raceway and it was pretty dry and pretty rough. I'll show you guys in the footage here coming up. But that was the chassis after one day, so it definitely got some wear. I don't really know if that's so much the chassis' fault as it was the track was just really rough and abrasive this particular day. If it would have been wet, I'm sure it wouldn't have been as bad. But anyways, my overall impression of the car is that it's a good old Kyosho. It's the same Kyosho that we've all driven and probably enjoyed at some point in the past. It's not the cheapest car to maintain. The parts are not inexpensive, being that it's a Japanese platform. About 2 months ago, I got a chance to drive a TKI3 with TKI4 arms. I asked the kid, I said, well, is it a TKI3 or TKI4? He's like, well, it's a TKI4. So my guess is what he was trying to tell me is that he bought a TKI4, and then just kind of put the setup on it from his TKI3, meaning suspension pivots and things like that, just to get what he wanted, because we were racing on a pretty low bite surface at the time. But I will tell you that it was absolutely dialed at the time. So I don't know, I guess that's about it. They've got some changes. I don't know if I really consider the changes a car-based thing or like a tuning option, but there's no question that now as Kyosho adds more stuff to the car, that there are more tuning options than ever. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it for you guys, and we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Hey, by the way, before you leave, I just want to say thanks again for watching my videos. I only make these videos so that we can have fun together. By the way, you'd be doing me a big favor if you could either comment, like, or even better, subscribe to my channel. Again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.